Hey everyone, I just want to take a few minutes really quick and get this worship confessional out. I've not done one in ages, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. But I really wanted to do a worship confessional this week, just because we had such an awesome week. So this is worship confessional 20, however they do it on American Idol. So I just want to preface this real quickly with a couple of things. The first is that as the Summit has moved into its second year, I really feel like the direction of worship needs to change at the Summit as we try and continue to build a healthy worship culture. And part of that means that there are things that are going to change over the next few months with regards to what kind of songs we do and how we structure the services and stuff. But I feel like today, like this week's service, which was actually 2 days ago because today's Tuesday, was actually kind of the beginning of a movement that I think is going to be real cool. The second thing is, it was a very frustrating morning to start with on Sunday because our mixing desk had been in for repair to get something very minor done. But it had come back with like everything kind of tweaked and changed. So as a result, it took like an hour to get the thing reconnected, and I didn't understand that. But then like all our monitor mixes were completely messed up. So we did just about whatever we could to get it to work well for the service, just enough to get through, but we need to go back to that. But anyway, because of this frustration, we were kind of halfway through setup, and normally I would pray and have communion with the team before service, but after rehearsal and sound check. But it got to a point during setup that I was just so frustrated that I just got the team together and said, guys, we're going to pray now, and the communion was there, and it made all the world of difference just to kind of unite and just lay down our own agendas and ideas and our frustrations and just kind of refocus and get united on really why we were there. So anyway, on to the first set.
I still believe that you were born to take the lead. Come on, let's say.
First set was going to be Name Above All Names, Here Is Our King, and Blessed Be Your Name. But we did a last minute swap out and we changed Name Above All Names and did Song of Hope instead by Robbie C. Band. We've done that for the last 4 weeks, so I think I'm going to give it a rest for a few weeks now. And we dumped the idea of having a pre-service song. It was just a little bit confusing for people, it wasn't entirely working. Some people weren't sure whether they should sing along or what, and it just wasn't obvious. Even though we had the countdown clock on and no words, it wasn't that obvious that it was a pre-service song. So instead what we're doing is we're building a jam around the main riff of whatever our opening song is, and working on that for a couple of minutes as people are pouring in and as the service gets started. Then right as that countdown clock hits 0, the band keep playing, but I welcome everyone and get everyone up, and then we launch into the song. So we did that with Song of Hope, had some amazing energy on that song, and it's been really popular. Like I think it's something that people really get into because it's a great call to worship, and it's also just a real kind of one of those feel-good songs that you can get into the groove and that you can pick up the words and the tune real quickly. So we did that. Then coming out of that, we did Here Is Our King, which was great, except for the fact that I started it in the wrong key. What happened was, because I play Song of Hope with a capo on the 4th fret, Joel, our drummer, counted in Here Is Our King, and I realised I hadn't taken the capo off, so I barred what I thought was the right chord, and of course the rest of the band come in on D, and I'm actually playing an E flat, and it just throws us off. It even throws my singing off, and we actually didn't work out what was going on until all the way through the first verse, all the way through the pre-chorus, and all the way through the first chorus, until everything finally came together. So it was a horrible moment. I'm almost certain everyone noticed it, but the rest of the song was really strong, and so that was great. Then we did Blessed Be Your Name, and it was the Matt Redman Blessed Be Your Name, and we started it kind of with a U2 With or Without You feel, drums and bass, and then Joe was kind of doing some syncopated delay kind of notes here and there, and it was real cool. And while the intro was being played, I just kind of spoke about the message of the song and the idea of the song and really what God's idea of worship is. The test of faith being that even when we're going through the hard times in life, when we're going through the valleys, that we can still turn around and say, but I will still praise God. I will still declare that His name is the name above all names, and all that. And use Job as an example, and really encourage the congregation to find that place in their heart where they could just let go and give it all to God. And I have to say, it was the single most powerful, most unifying, most collective response we have had ever at the summit. That song just took people, people went off on that, and it was amazing to see people who I don't even ever see singing were suddenly singing and their hands were raised. There were people kneeling at the back of the room. There was a couple of people dancing towards the back, and it was just, it's like I finally feel at the summit that we've been pushing against this glass ceiling for so long, and it's finally beginning to crack. It's finally beginning to break. So that was amazing. And then when we got to the bit where you sing, you give and take away, you give and take away, and my heart will choose to say, there were some confused faces, so I kind of brought the dynamic of the song back and said, it might seem a little bit confusing to sing the words, you give and you take away. Of course, it's just the Bible. I know there are some churches that don't sing the song, or they remove that part of the song because they just don't like what it says. But come on, guys, this is the Bible. This is not our doctrine. This is God. And so, as well as the obvious, I kind of put a different slant on it and said, well, God gives and takes away, but He also gave of His hope to take away our despair. He gives His love to take away our fear and our hurts, and He ultimately gave His Son to take away our sins. And there were some light bulbs that went on. I could see people finally starting to get something. And we launched right back into the song. We ad-libbed for a little while, did a few more real rocking choruses to end it. And then there was just an incredible shout of praise and celebration at the end of that song and at the end of the set. So I have to say, absolutely, without a doubt, the number one most powerful worship experience we've had at the summit yet. So Scott is in the middle of he's launched a new series. We're in the middle of the series now. Launched a new series based on the vision of the summit, and our vision, by the way, is based around three things: faith, hope, love. And so the next 3 weeks are going to be looking at those elements. And the first one this Sunday was faith. And Scott just preached a really great message about the test of faith and how the faith of even the size of a mustard seed can cause mountains to be cast into the sea. A real, just kind of inspiring message. And I knew that's what was coming up. And I was trying to think last week what songs we do that really kind of have that, kind of really are an expression of faith. And I came up with a couple of songs that initially might seem a little bit odd, but really are an expression of faith. The one is, the first one we did was Hungry, and the second one we did is Better Is One Day. And they're songs of faith because they are all about complete reliance on God. Both of those songs are all about realizing that there's nothing we can do to better our lives. There's nothing we can do to live for eternity, that it's all about God, and it's all about putting our faith and our trust in Him. So Hungry we do a little bit differently to the recorded version. We kind of put almost like a John Mayer gravity feel to it. I have like an opening guitar riff. There's just kind of a real sweet, almost bluesy feel to it. And then Better Is One Day we also do a little bit differently. We build it up very similar to the way Matt Redman does it. But we end it just full on, like overdrive pedals on, drums kicking at halftime, loud, live, raw, real. And when we got to the point of that song where the words are, "My heart and flesh cry out for you, the living God," it was like Joe and I stomp on our volume pedals, and it's like hands went up and eyes were closed. And it was just an incredibly earnest expression of worship to God. So I gotta say, guys, this Sunday just blew me away. This is the reason why I knew I had to get a worship professional this week. And I'm just hoping that it's the start of more. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. I know this is kind of scratched and thrown together. I'm trying to obey my rule of thirds here with the camera angle. But next week, the theme for the Sunday is hope, and really looking forward to it. Got a great set list lined up. We're starting to work on stuff for Easter, which is crazy, it's only 3 weeks away. But we're looking forward to it. You guys have a great week. See you soon.